Yeah. Yeah, please. Yeah, many times on the show.
How about you read on it first? Susan, fine. Yes, right. You're exactly. The work fast, right? You're work fast.
Last minute. This is not an order. If you feel at the end of the service, just okay. So we'll do it like for you. Grocery cookies. I recommend somebody should reach out to you about faculty. You don't have to read all three again, that was a lot. So, yeah, but I mean, whatever, like, that was a huge, I mean, I know that, I was a teenager once, I don't have to see school gets, and it's like, it's here, but I'm looking forward, you're gonna let her know, we'll distribute drugs.
I can't remember most of them. Like, I could like read mostly without attaching.
It's interesting because a high holy day trope, it's kind of a big deal, like it's different, and once you learn it, it's more like a song. And like I remember, I think my first year in my pulpit, it looked like the Torah reader didn't show up on Rosh Hashanah. And I just remember when I grew up, it being sung, and I could do it. Like that guy's voice is in my head, because it has a different, it's almost like a song, whereas normal trope, it's not. Exactly. And the guy I grew up with, his voice was so nasal that it really stuck in my head. It was like, and it just kind of like, it good. It was like it got in there.
Well, Charles has the music.
He has the music for it? Yeah.
For the drum, I have actually have the music for each of the programs.
I do, no, I don't read music, so I don't know.
Maybe one thing, we'll start. Second then. Sure. See if I can recall that.
Shabbat Shalom. This works. I never usually do this, but we're seeing if we can be a little less formal than back there. So for those who are joining us by streaming and by Zoom, I'm trying this. I got out the microphone. We'll hope the batteries last and things like that, and you'll be able to hear us. But I'm hoping you all can hear me okay as well. So Shabbat Shalom. Thanks to everyone who came in person, because we have a physical minyan already, and so that's a wonderful thing. And welcome to everyone who's joining us by streaming. Girls, can I ask you, Marav Ziva, can I ask you to join me? Be my wing women. Let's start the service on page 13 with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShabbat, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll do the first and last verses of Yedid Nefesh on page 14. Let's dive into this mysticism of all our connection to nature already being a connection to God. And just like the deer, when we unburden ourselves and clear our minds, we're already naturally connected to God. And that is a good way to start Shabbat. Yedid Nefesh, Av HaRachaman, Mishoch Avdach, Eretzonach, Yarutz Avdach, Kemo Aya, Yishtachaveh Mul Hadarach, Yerav Lo Yedidutah, Mino Petzu Vechol Ta'am, Yigalena Ufros Chaviv, Alayet Sugat Shel Hamach, Ta'ir Eretz Mikvodach, Nagila V'nismecha Bach, Maher Ahuv Kiva Moed V'chanenim. join in even if you don't know Hebrew. Yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 da, yada da da da. I'm going to invite your mother to come up to light candles, and I'll start you off with one match, and if like last time for me it didn't work, we'll add in another. Will everyone please rise for candle lighting? Here, I'm going to get out of the way. This is mom's moment.
One, two, three. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu b'knesset Shabbat. Amen.
Please be seated. We're going to stay standing for a moment, and then you can head out. We'll let you out this way. That's the fire escape. I guess I'm in the middle. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, sit down. And we'll release Lynn. But so for blessing the kids, when I have you with me, I'd like you to, instead of blessing them like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, I'd love to ask you to offer any name of someone who has and what their quality is that I should bless my girls with. I think, it could be someone we don't know. You could say, may they be like my mother, and just tell me a quality of your mother if I didn't know her. It could be, it could be Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It could be, it doesn't have to be a woman. And so is there anyone that will allow me to bless my girls with as having a quality of coming from someone whose blessings you've received? Jeffrey, I'm looking at you.
My grandmother was Anne Rosenblum.
Rosenblum.
She combined the very, she was Orthodox and her Judaism, but she had the most wonderful sense of humor. And living proof that humor.
May you girls be like Anne Rosenblum, who had the gift and blessing of bringing humor even to some very serious situations. Amen. Is there anyone else that would like to share someone for me to bless with? In which case, I will end with Anne Rosenblum, and may you be like your mother, who is always supportive, positive, brilliant, and more than anything, humble. And may you inherit those qualities, but not be too humble, which sometimes she can be. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and guard you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, may God be gracious to you and may bring out that graciousness in you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God, you feel God turning toward you. Maybe you feel God's presence. And so may you never feel alone. May you feel shalom in your heart. Let us say, amen. Thank you, girls. Let's turn to Psalm 95. Get the Kabbalat Shabbat service underway. Let's make our tongues move in melodies of gratitude. You guys want to do it for me with the 1, 2, 3. Keep going. Oh, I'm supposed to, okay, start again. 1, and I'll jump in. 1, 2, 3. Everybody. Nariya litzor yishenu nikadma fana betoda toda bizmiro nariyalo Let us be reminded that we come from shepherd ancestors who bestowed upon us great gifts of their spirituality, their closeness to nature, their sense of peace and patience. And may we remind ourselves that we're like the sheep of God, and we are like a flock, each having our own space to be a family or to be an individual, while also having a gentle hand guide us in the directions, nudge us in the directions we should be going. Let's sing the bottom verses. Arba'im shana akud bedor Ba'omar am tohe levavim Behem lo yadu diracha Asher nishbati v'apihi im yivon el menuchati. For those who want to do the traditional davening of the services, you can go through the Psalms on your own. I'm going to share, as I sometimes do, either poetry or teachings. Today I'm going to share some teachings. And so here we go. So you guys are listening, right? Okay. Very good. Not that you wouldn't be. I wasn't suggesting it. Okay, this is a Hasidic teaching from Buber's collections. When Rabbi Wolf drove out in a carriage, he never permitted a whip to be used on his horses. He instructed his coachman, "You do not even have to shout at them." The coachman replied, "Well, then how am I supposed to get them to do what I want them to do?" Rabbi Wolf replied, "You just have to know how to talk to them." I wanted to share this one. It once happened that one of the grandsons of Reb Menachem Mendel of Lubavitch fell into a deep funk, and his friends came to lift his spirits. His friends said to him, "Rebbe, what can it be that's causing you this sadness?" The Rebbe replied, "It's the alphabet." They said, "The alphabet? The Aleph Beit? We all learned the Aleph Beit when we were children. None of us got depressed over it. What do you know that we do not?" The Chassid replied, "It's not even the whole alphabet that's bothering me. It's the first two letters, Aleph and Beit." Seeing that his friends had no idea what he was talking about, he continued, "Well, we all learned the Aleph stands for Ani or Anochi, stands for I. And the Beit stands for Breshit, the first word of the Torah, in the beginning. So do you understand why I'm so upset?" His friends looked at one another to see whether anyone had even the slightest inkling of what his friend was talking about. They finally returned their eyes to him and shrugged. The young Rebbe looked back at them and said, "This is what troubles me. For us, the I is always in the beginning of everything we do. Every beginning, every venture is preceded by the ego. And even in our very language, we start all of our sentences with I. But in the Torah, God didn't start with Aleph, God started with Bet, to remove the ego from all of it. How am I ever to act selflessly when my efforts are tainted by the alphabet from the beginning?" That takes us through the service a little bit. As we're going through it, the field and forest are singing for joy. We're joining in with their sound. We can develop our language for talking to horses because we are identifying more closely as God's creatures with them. In Psalm 97, the smoke and cloud from the events of the week cloud our view of the supreme harmony that is really all around us. And it is our job in Psalm 98 to break through in song and to lift up our instrument, whether it's our voice or another kind of instrument. Was that a bird? Hopefully it was a squirrel. Not that I have anything against squirrels. But see, we got too close to nature. We were saying like we're inviting them in. What do you think, Ezra? Is he okay or she okay? It was over here. I'm hoping it was a squirrel, not a bird. And I'm hoping it was a bird. She's just fine. What? Thanks a lot. Thanks for the support. So much for the supportive spouse. Yeah, it was a bird. We were in big trouble. Yep. See, that's what happens when you get the language of animals, and we're singing the Psalms of the language of animals. So in Psalm 98, we're supposed to join in with the creatures and join in this kind of harmony and sounds of nature. And that is the sounds of the Psalms. Let our instruments, our voices be like the sea roaring, or the creatures within the sea making their sounds, or the earth and the forest and the rivers, whatever creatures are in there, singing and joining in with each other's joyous song. May it be a song of kindness. In Psalm 99, even if we're not feeling connected to the song and able to do that, may we remember our ancestors who strove to do it, even when it was difficult. And finally, Psalm 29 on page 20, which is, it's not just in the serene song that we connect, but even during the times of life where the storm is taking place. For the song is in the storm, and when the storm is within us, it is still a song in which we can connect to God. And that brings us to Lechadodi on page 21. Let's do the first 3 verses and the last 2. Okay? Lechadodi likrakala penei Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad hishmiyanu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem ol tiferet v'litila. Likrat Shabbat lehuvenecha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof maasa b'machshava hatechila. Mikdash melech melucha kumitzei mitoch hapecha harav lach shevet behemek abacha vehu yachamol alayichem la lechadodi liikra kahala penei Shabbat nekabel. Middle 22. Yamin usmo tifrotzi v'yet Adonai taritzi al yadish ben parzi v'nismecha v'nagila lechadodi liikra kahala penei Shabbat nekabela. Shalom aterepahala gam besimcha ubetzohala tochemune aham segula boichala lechadodi liikra kahala penei Shabbat nekabela. Let's feel the sense that the universe, God, has provided an energy that matched our own striving to connect with nature and to God through nature. And so we just had a little boost enter in to help thrust us into Shabbat. We're on page 23 for the Psalm for the day. Here we go. Will you guys actually do it? Mizmor Shir? I know it's been a while.
Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Shir Le'am HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Shir Le'am HaShabbat. Tov Adonai, Zameh Shir L'Shimcha Elyon, Lehagid b'boker chastecha, V'emunatcha b'leilot. Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Shir Le'am HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Shir Le'am HaShabbat. We go silently to the bottom of 23. Odinuvun b'seva, d'shenim v'rananim yihiu, v'yagid ki yashar Adonai, suri v'lo avla'ata bo, Adonai malach ge'ut lavesh. Edotecha nemnu ma'od, leveidcha nava kodesh Adonai, le'orech yamim. Completing those introductory psalms, we're on page 24 for the first of our 2 Mourners' Kaddishes. And I'm going to see if I can reach our lists. I can. On this Shabbat, Beth Israel congregation remembers, among others, Ruth Abelson, Eunice Cook, Mark Donis, Shirley Finkel, Michael Foster, Ann Gare, Rose Ginsburg, Samuel Joff, Daniel Greenberg, Martin Greenberg, Max Hallman, Florence Karch, Milton Kachin, Edwin Lakin, Esther Lamed, Mark Lieberman. This is on the first year anniversary, the first York site from Mark, brother of Victor Lieberman. Elaine Biddle Lloyd, Dorothy Lusky, Herman Lusky, Sophie Mortis, Henry Phillips, Hannah Ross, Joyce Seeger Schuster, Elizabeth Carol Schwartz, Irving Simon, Jeanette Teller, and Alexander Mark Wayman, as we continue to say Kaddish for Natalie Scher, Susan Feingold Schultz, Judith Cashton, Lorraine Sherman, Michael Adams, Leona Leon, Phyllis Werbel, Fanchen Lessing, David Fallman, Bruce Thal, Carol Feinerman, Gary Joseph Ullman, Paul Ernest Phillips, Leslie Garber Matthews, Raisa Levinskaya, Alice Cohen, Toby Barbin Rothaus, Vivian Perlstein, Marty Littenauer, and Bonnie Rosenberg. For everyone who's saying Kaddish today, please, please stand with me and recite. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalma divra pirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach v'olam ulamei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran v'ama v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. I invite everyone to rise because we're on page 28 for the Baruch. Yep, we face the ark. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. We may be seated. Baruch et Adonai. Umavir yom umevi laila, mavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chalenu le'olam va'ed, baruch ata Adonai hama'arihi v'aravim. For all of you, and including my wing women on page 29, help me with Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Torah u'mitzvot u'kim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shochbeinu u'vekumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu u'vahem negeh yomam v'layla. Will you guys sit together for the V'ahavta? V'ahavtcha tasnimenu l'olamim baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You lead the V'ahavta on page 30?
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננת לפניך ודיברת בם בשיתך ובביתך ובלצך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך
ושרתם לאותו ידיך, ולטטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם במזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך.
We continue the rest of 30 and 31 and into 32 in silent prayer. Adonai Elohechem Echem. Adonai Elohechem. Umalchuto b'ratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe Miriam u'bnei Yisrael v'chalnu sham b'simcha haraba v'yamru laham
מי כמוך מאיר אדוני, מי כמוך נכתב בקודש, נוראתינו תוספת.
מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה אלי אנו ויאמרו
אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגולו מחזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Let's read the Hashkivenu together in English on 33. Help
Help
us.
us, Adonai, to lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful Lord. Guard our coming and our going, grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise for you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us,
Over all your people of Israel. Page 34. Sham Reuven Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Torotam beritom ha'am Beini u'bein bnei Yisrael Oti le'olam Ki sheshet yamim na'aseh Adonai et hashamayim v'et ha'aretz u'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinam. Here in the middle of page 34, we're at just about at the silent Amidah, and then we'll be finishing out the service. And so let's take a moment. Sometimes here I give you a teaching to think about, but we shared details earlier. So what I'd like you to do is remember this, that when we pray alone, we are very much encouraged by the rabbis, by halakha, our tradition, to have our own spontaneous prayers and to connect to God spontaneously. So in a way, the Kadosh Baruch Hu or a ruach, a holy kind of spirit, inspires us with words and thoughts, sometimes feelings, sometimes melodies that really are the ones we're supposed to be having. And you're also supposed to, though, try to follow the liturgy when you're on your own. And so that's part of it. When you're in a group and you have someone leading the service, it's my responsibility to do everything word for word. I don't have the freedom to be too spontaneous. But by being in a minyan, you do. So that one of the benefits, because everyone in Judaism, if you're ever in the intro to Judaism class, you probably get asked this, which is, can you pray alone or do you have to be in a group? And if you say, well, no, you can pray alone, then why do people go to synagogue, right? So one of the ways the rabbis encourage it is, well, there's a special thing, which is when you're alone, you're supposed to be spontaneous, but you're also supposed to do all the prayers because there's no one else to do them with you or for you. But when you're in a group, as long as you make sure you have a kosher leader that you can trust is going to do every word, and I'm telling you, you can trust me, then by saying amen, you're kosher for the liturgy. And you can really be spontaneous. Or the rabbis also encourage you to practice. Everything I do, you're supposed to be trying to do with me, so you get better and better. And it's the untrained who seem to know the prayers. So magically. But still, so I encourage you at this time, let's just take like 25 seconds of silence. You have a moment if you wish to be spontaneous, to have the words, the feelings, the thoughts, the resonances that really take you into Shabbat, the prayer you ought to be having at this time. Try to get in touch with what that is. So after I do the Kaddish and we rise, you then have the freedom to pray the words in the book in Hebrew or in English, or to read the prayers, the readings at the bottom, or flip to the back and find a poem, or to kind of settle into the centeredness that you'll find right now. You still have a few minutes more during the Kaddish to think, what is the prayer I'm supposed to be having right now? Please rise. Yikada v'yikada shemei rabba v'yamadi prakirte v'yamif malchute v'chaye onu yoneon u'chaye v'chol Yisrael v'agala v'zman karib ve'imeru achim ye'esh merabba le'mara alam ulam le'elmayah Yiparach, Yishabach, Aryitamam Binaseh, Yizadar, Yizalev, Yizalal, Shmei Shah, Le'eva, Mikol Berchata, V'shirata, Ushbechata, V'nefecha, Bimeru. 35 feet forward, or your own spontaneous prayer that you're supposed to be having.
This is from the end of one of the Shabbat Amidas.
May it be your will, Adonai, my God, to open for me the gates of learning, love, and harmony, peace, and companionship. I will surely rejoice in Adonai. My whole being will exult in my God. May I know the joy of celebrating in Jerusalem, rejoicing with my people. May the one who ordains people peace for his universe bring peace to us and to all the people Israel. Amen.
Amen. Let's sing that final line in Hebrew. Oseh shalom v'rama, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al Yisrael, imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yavo Yisrael. Can I ask you girls to follow Ezra's lead on page 48 and to read together the top paragraph?
Our God and God of our ancestors, find favor in our Shabbat rest. Instill in us the holiness of your mitzvot, and let your Torah be our portion. Fill our lives with your goodness, and gladden us with your triumph. Cleanse our hearts so that we might serve you faithfully, lovingly, and willingly. Adonai, our God, grant that we inherit your holy Shabbat, so that the people of Israel, who hallow your name, will always find rest on this day. Praised are you, Adonai, who hallows Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Yikadav yikadash shemei rabah, yamad yivrak yirateh, yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechonu v'domechonu v'chayedechu beit Yisrael, bagalav izman kadri v'imeru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevarach, v'alam me'olaya. Yivarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitruman v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalash me'rekudesha le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata v'shpkata v'nechemata d'amiram v'yama v'imeru titabal tzolotonu v'aton d'cho Yisrael kol adama v'hondi v'shmaya v'imeru Yehei shama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imeru Oseh shalom b'mroma v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imeru Amen. Charles, can I invite you to stand in front of the table and lead the Aleinu on page 51? Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekibru l'yotzer reshit, shelo asanu kibuye haratzot, velo samanu mishpachot adama, shelo samchalkenu pahem, v'goralenu kechol amona. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ ומשה יקראו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו כתוב בתורתו דת היום להשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחתינו. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ Adonai echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo echad.
You may be seated except for those who are reciting the Mourner's Kaddish. We're on page 52 together. Yikadal v'yikadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach pirutei v'yamlik maputei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach v'olam u'lamei al-maya, v'barach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh, v'yikadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah v'rifu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nehemata, da'amiram v'ama v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mormav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memories continue to bring blessings to this world. Shabbat Shalom. We're just at announcements and then we'll make Kiddush together. So I'm kind of excited tonight, not only because I got the family jamming on the bima, but also because this is the first service that Jerry Sorokin is with us, who is our new executive director. And by executive director, I really mean leader. I mean, and so I'm incredibly excited, Jerry, that you're here. And this is the soft introduction. The big introduction will be in September when we really do it right. But I have a strong feeling people are going to be interacting with Jerry and seeing Jerry around and maybe even at services, especially because like me and maybe even more than he'll be working late and all these kinds of things. So Jerry, just welcome to the sanctuary of Beth Israel congregation. And we're excited for your leadership and what we can already see is your menschlichkeit. So, and for everyone who gets a chance, welcome Jerry and be very, very welcoming. I also want to let you know that that Talmud study with Rabbi Doberson continues on Monday at 4:00, and next Friday the service will be outside. So next Friday we'll have our second barbecue. We had one a couple of weeks ago. We kind of got rained out on that one, but we did it anyway. But it was sort of under the umbrella barbecue, and hopefully we'll have good weather. And next Friday night we'll be outside. Register if you want some hot dogs or veggie dogs, as we're doing. And let's put it this way, families with children ages 6 and under are welcome to come for a special half-hour bounce house time just for them beginning at 5:30 p.m. This is something we learned in our first congregation, which is the little ones need special time for themselves in the bounce house. And so we're making sure they have their own special time, but then the bounce house will be open to all. At 6:15, the long games and bounce house are open to all and dinner is served under the tent in the courtyard. And our menu consists of hot dogs, veggie dogs, cabbage salad, potato salad, watermelon, and lemonade. And the service will begin at 7, which will be outside in the courtyard. On Sunday, August 28th is the Red Cross blood drive at BIC. Blood supplies are really low and there's still time to sign up to donate blood here on that day. I also want to, people who have been in the community for some time are probably well aware that Harleen Appelman died this week. Allah Shalom, may she rest in peace. Really someone who made a decision to do everything she could for the Jewish community, along with her husband, Henry, and accomplished amazing things through will and determination, doing especially famous for her work in Jewish education as the founder and leader until very recently of the Covenant Foundation in Jewish education, promoting all kinds of innovation in Jewish education, especially family education. But she and Henry were also instrumental in starting the day school and numerous other activities in Ann Arbor and well beyond. So Harleen, Allah Shalom, her funeral will be here in the sanctuary on Tuesday at 1 p.m., followed by interment in Washtenaw, and then Shiva at the house, which is not far from there, 4 p.m. And then the following day on Wednesday, evening minyan will meet along with the Shiva combined at their house at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. But all of that information will be sent out again. But our condolences to the family, and we expect to be mourning her properly
with sadness and with tribute. And with that, are there any announcements? First, I also just want to welcome Diego. Diego, I've seen on Saturday morning, and but this was his first Friday night service, and so please welcome him. And for those who are Friday night goers, you may not know Sam. He's a regular Saturday morning goer, and so it's great to see you both here. I think that Tiffany at this point is probably a regular, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, she's always been here. I'm the new one, but Tiffany is still relatively new. So if you haven't chatted with Tiffany, please greet her at the end of the service in the back. It's great to have the whole Platt family together in a row. And we each one represents the whole sort of through metonymy, but when you're all together, it's especially wonderful. So Marilia, welcome back. Harvey, go ahead.
To answer a question you asked earlier, somebody or you should bless your children today. It's slow, and I thought of my mother and I love her. She never ran for office. I thought of Dana Nessel, whom I greatly admire, who fights for the residents, the citizens of Michigan, on their behalf. But then this Wednesday, we welcomed Gyler and Natalia from Columbia, the family that 6 congregations came together 6 months ago, went through training, volunteered. And I'd really like that you should be blessed with Fruma Taub and Jennifer Trade and Lauren Gold and Mitch Trade and the 50 volunteers who came together to support a family joining our community. Busy people who made it happen, and they're now here. So
thank you.
They're my idols of this week.
I wish that had been in the announcements too, and we got to make it a permanent mark along with an updated report each week about how resettling or settling that family is going. And Harvey, thanks for taking a lead on that and all the people that have jumped in and this whole part of this kind of Jewish network. And there's also an interfaith network as well, but the family that our Jewish organizations have adopted, if that's the right word. But thank you. May you be blessed with the spirit of, we were just chatting with Jenny Trigg. That's why the girls were there. And she was like, that Harvey, boy, 1 minute, it was one of those things like, who wants to volunteer to lead this thing? And then she said, then Harvey said something like, well, since no one volunteered, Jenny and you'll all be interim. She's like, how did he swing that? And he was explaining to the girls, this is the way you get volunteers, right? You'll just be the interim volunteer and it'll all be good, trust me. Thanks, Harvey. Let's finish with Kiddush. And it's not that I didn't honor everyone. I mean, like, obviously, I just wanted to make sure I called out people who haven't been here in a while. And I'm so used to, I'm glad to have the Share family with us. And I should say, you know, and to have you reading. So here we go. Please, let's stand for Kiddush on page 49. Lynn, will you join us? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'kafeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit. Hu yom techila l'nikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta yotanu idashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava u'ratzon. Let's finish strong. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Shabbat shalom. See you tomorrow morning at 9:30. Well, I mean, you're allowed to stay. You don't have to run out. Sorry.
Thanks everyone for coming. You know, last couple of weeks hasn't been so busy and it's really nice. Girls, thank you. Good job. Put these in the office, my office, and come back. It won't take that.
That's good. That's what I was hoping.
I would. And the advantage.
No, we didn't start that. We just finished.
I taught there at East Lansing, Iowa for a while. I was a mill operator there for a very long time. Then I left Iowa, went back to Western Canada where I did grow up. case for the living. That guy was not very well. Yeah, no.
If you have a chance, read the section in the whole, if you don't, just come like,
Can hear
there's
progressive.
some people that like read all that, other people like.
Quite similar. That's why I was like. Yeah, they're like partial. The Jewish people. Primarily Chicago.
Also, if you're one.
And you need to know when the family is right, right? So, that's the wrong direction. Did they have an apartment lined up or? Right. I know. I just got myself an apartment. Yeah. imagine looking for a couple of weeks. There was a smattering, I was looking for small companies, ones that
Hey, guys.
So, my wife didn't move here, although she is physically here herself. She didn't move from Iowa, so she's going back. It made sense for her. Health issues, so stuck around. So it's kind of like a half move. That's time. My parents, who are the same age, what you deal with. Yeah, so we didn't make the full one. We didn't sell the house and pack everything up. We moved my clothes, picked up a few pieces of furniture here and there. I don't want to look like a college student, but at the same time, I don't need to. Yeah, a lot of churches, they keep a table outside the sanctuary with everybody's name tags. So you come in on Sunday morning, you pick up your name tag, and put it back. Right. So the people, they're very good in the transmission process. Seem to get that. We're not always very good at requiring people to interact and increase themselves. But I think it's a great idea. That's right. About a few weeks more. Holidays will start in the last week of September, so we do have enough time to get those kinds of plans together. Boy. I hope so, yeah. They're 21 and 23, so the 23-year-old graduated last spring from Washington, St. Louis, Washington, D.C. The 21-year-old is about to start her senior year. She is working in the HR Capital Bank. We have a program, it's a 2-year program, just starting year 2 for new sort of executive trainees and it's a really interesting job. I love being in Washington. People in Washington. It's her roommate, who's a friend of hers at the high school, but it's a year old. They both went to high school together, went to college together, but now they're working together, so they're a year apart. So she's now starting her second year. They kept her on after the 2 year program. And she's still in GC. So we don't. But their office is in McLean, but they almost never go. They work mostly from home.
Career growth and
Yeah, it's, I mean, they really reconfigure the way that they're operating, the big companies like that. And so they're assessing the performance based on what could be realistically accomplished from home. And, she's working closely with a supervisor who might be 500 miles away. That's okay. It seems to work. So she's on a new project this year. Assessing promotions from within. The first year she was recruiting these new professionals responsible for underrepresented. Which is really, so these are people who are actually much senior to her being promoted above them.